So, hello everybody. It is me, Demetra K, and I am sitting here with Donovan, a recovering Democrat Saadiq. And it is the Demetra K show, was Wealth Wednesdays. Now we have turned the show into Where's Walter Wednesdays. Again, maybe he'll show up one day and maybe he won't. I don't know. But nevertheless, we are here. And of course, it is political season. So we want to spend a little bit more time than usual speaking about that of politics because we know that the 2024 election is in November, where a president of the United States will be elected, whether it'll be Joe Biden, who is the incumbent, or it'll be somebody else. And so we're going to have a lot of conversations about that, really just trying to have, a conversation as to what is best for us in Black America politically. Who should we be voting for? If we should be voting at all. Of course, that's all a personal decision for you. So I'd like to say a big thank you to Donovan. He's sitting here once again, as you know, he's not typically on Wednesdays, but we'll see if he wants to come back as often as he can. It's his show too. Also, like to say a big giant thank you, hello, and welcome to YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. You are the other side of the conversation. Not only are you just viewers, but you are family, and you are participants as well, because we do share the link from time to time for you to come up here and express yourself. Today, we are going to be talking about Charlamagne the God. Now, Charlamagne the God, of course, you guys know, is one of the co-hosts on The Breakfast Club, among a whole host of other things. He's an author. He's had other TV shows and just a whole bunch of stuff that he does. Well, he's, made a revelation about that of the Biden-Harris ticket. He said he's not going to be endorsing them in 2024. And, of course, I will get into it. There was an article in Politico that he disclosed all of these things, and so I took the liberty to read it and break it down for you, and I will do that in just a minute. Moni, how you doing? OG Patrice, what's going on with you? Black America, you the best of Black America. Okay. Tito, he says, the God, don't you ever forget that we are gods. Okay, we are all gods. Don't let them tell you you're not. But Donovan, what say you?
Welcome to you guys. So Where's Walter Wednesday, which is previously known, also always will be known as Wealth Wednesdays. Walter's out there making that money, because when Walter doesn't show up to something, that means money is on his mind. So I'm going to give him grace in regards to that. Thank you for having me on the show. It's great to be back. It is winter time. Guys, do us a favor. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Get this message out. We are in political season. We have less than a year for the election. Less than a year, and it's going to go by, as you guys know, just like that. They're going to be throwing you all of these tropes, and all of these people are going to come out and try to swerve you this way and swerve you that way, and it works on those of us that are disarmed in our mental capacity. So that does work. But do us a favor. You guys see that banner at the bottom there? If you guys would like, please go ahead and donate to the content creator. It keeps them motivated to do that. And again, I'm going to push the AfricanDiasporaNews.org and the app. That way we can get off of these platforms and start talking about programs that are basically with us. You'll see great content there from Brother Philip Scott, Wongale, Demetra, Vicki Dillard, the new girl from 80, and all kinds of things that have to deal with the African diaspora. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on in Africa right now. How many of us know that? Again, I talk to a lot of people in our community, Demetra, when it comes to Africa, and they still think that there's a white guy running around there that can speak all the African languages named Tarzan. So we've got to start dispelling these rumors and showing that they have great cities and things going on over there in the African diaspora. So welcome to the show. This is a very important topic, because if you guys remember Charlamagne the God, he had Kamala and Joe Biden on the show, and he was telling Kamala, who's the president, and and she had to put him in check, black girl magic. And, he was like, oh yeah, right on. That's how we do it, whatever. And remember, he was also the one that interviewed her, and she was talking about how when she was in college, which was back in the Stone Age, she was listening to Tupac and, all this other stuff and Fife. And it was just a total embarrassing thing. And thank you to the sisters out there that see this BS and call it out. Demetra is one of the ones that call out the sisterhood BS. I mean, if there's a sisterhood, there is one, but big ups to the women that call out the BS of the sisterhood.
And hello, Michael. How are you doing? He said, "I'll be happy if the Democrats lose this race, the race this year." Brother Samuel, how you doing? He says, "I tweeted a quote he gave from Walter yesterday, and which one was that? Because I'll be saying a whole lot of stuff. Yes, Black America, we do care about Africa. And how you doing, Troy? I'm sorry, and Jay." What's going on? He says nobody cares about what that clown is talking about. His platform only brings corrupt Democrats for campaigning. All right, well, let me go ahead and get into it. So, as I said, Charlamagne the God was interviewed by Politico, and he pretty much gave his opinion on things that are going on as far as the Democrats are concerned. And so I took some notes. So he basically started off saying that Biden is a lousy messenger. Okay, he's a lousy messenger. He also said that Donald Trump has more political skills, and this is his opinion, than that of Biden. He also said that Trump commands attention and he knows how to sell ideas. Of course, he talked about the First Step Act. He talked about the stimulus check, as he said, the STEMI checks, which they call them in the hood. He says, now imagine the government never doing anything for you, and then all of a sudden you get a check. All of a sudden you get a check in the mail, and it has Donald Trump's name on it. So a lot of people talked about Donald Trump is giving out checks and giving out money and stuff. And so that's what he was saying, that Trump is good at delivering a message and selling it. He also says that Biden spends too much time posturing. The Democrats do, right? They don't really do anything of substance for Black people, or really anybody, but us, it's all performative, right? They gonna, wanna, shoulda type of things as opposed to doing something specifically. He says they also spend too much time demonizing Trump instead of big upping the things that they do, right? What are the Democrats doing? Okay, enough about Trump. He's the boogeyman and he's gonna, put y'all back in slavery, all the stuff that they say. He's like, what about the Democrats? What are y'all doing? Say they don't do that. So his platform, obviously, there on the Breakfast Club and all the other things that he does, reaches young Black audience. And so also, and I just kind of notes I'm taking. So he does have a plug to, a lot of audience. I think they're at almost 6 million subscribers. And he says that they have 8 million, I would imagine it's more than that, viewers a year, but I would imagine it's more. And so he says he also questions Biden's mental capacity, which we all do, right? Because like we see and hear Biden doing and saying certain things, is like, is he all right? Sometimes you see him doing a robot around the stage. It's like, okay, what's going on? He also says that he endorsed the Biden because he put Kamala on the ticket. Of course, y'all know that Kamala ran a failed campaign for presidency, also for 2020. State of California is like, no, we don't want her for a whole host of reasons. And so Biden then put Kamala on the ticket. And he said that's why he endorsed it. He liked Kamala. In fact, he said him and Kamala became friends. He thought that they were cool and everything. They had some commonality. Like I said, she's gone on the show and talked about, a Tribe Called Quest. You know what I'm saying? Fife. Of course, Fife has been gone. He's dead now. R.I.P. Fife. Of course, she, like you say, she talked about Tupac, and of course I smoke weed. I'm Jamaican, and it pissed her Jamaican daddy off because he was like, "How dare her, say that because you have to smoke weed because you're Jamaican." He said it's an insult. We all don't do that. Of course, her father is an esteemed, or he was, I think he retired now, a professor, right? And an ambassador. So he's like, "No, don't be talking about that's what we do as Jamaicans, smoke weed." So anyway, he says the White House reaches out to him quite a bit in regards to some of his rhetoric. Now, he says they're nice about it, but they are like, yo, what's going on? Why are you saying that? Because, of course, Charlamagne and them was on the team. He's selling Black people to Democrats. And so now he's backed away from that. And he says so they reach out to him from time to time. And he says that the White House likes to downplay his influence to reach Black men because, of course, the Democrats are having an issue with Black men falling away. We talked about it yesterday. Black men are now only supporting the Democrats to the tune of 69%, and Black women are 84%. So that's a significant drop for both Black men and Black women. So again, he says they try to downplay that. Now on his show, that is canceled now. I didn't know it was canceled. The God's Honest Truth. He questioned Kamala about who was actually the president. At the time, Joe Manchin there, who was, he says he's a Democrat, but he acts more like a Republican. He asked him, is Joe Biden the president or is Joe Manchin the president? And she kind of took him to task by saying, oh, now you're talking like a Republican. And so he says that in 2024, he's not going to, endorse them. And he also feels burned by Harris. Those are his words. He feels burned by Harris because, again, he thought they were friends. And he says, this is his quote, I've learned my lesson once they got in the White House. She disappeared. She just flat out disappeared. So he says by now he's can surmise that they probably won't return to the Breakfast Club because, he's kind of out there saying, yo, they kind of duped me. They stiffed me. They used me to appeal to a lot of people. And he says now that he's got a lot of blowback. And this is kind of why I really think he's done a 180. It's because he's got a lot of blowback from his audience. Like, yo, you told us to vote for these people. Y'all know that Joe Biden got on the radio, the interview and said, well, if you have a problem deciding whether to vote for me or Trump, you ain't black. Of course, that was going to go into the, history books. And then they said that he in the Breakfast Club let Hillary come on there, pandering, talking about hot sauce in her bag and, all that other stuff. So he says now he's got to be 100, if you will, with his audience. He can't keep lying to them because now everybody can see that the Breakfast Club really, has not the Breakfast Club, the White House has really just left black people in the dust. Like, duh, everybody tried to tell Charlamagne and them that or whatever. So they says lastly that the Democrats are irritated with him because his continuous criticism of the Biden-Harris administration may elevate Trump in regards to black people. So on one hand, get this, they don't think he's as influential with young black people, but then when he talks about Trump or Biden, then he may elevate Trump to black people. So it's like, which is it? So basically, he says he feels burned by Harris. Specifically, he cited that of Harris. She disappeared, and he's not going to be making an endorsement of them in 2024. So let me see who came on here really quick, and then I'll give you the floor. Just want to acknowledge everybody who came on here. Mr. Casworld, how you doing? Your average logical thinker, what's going on with you? Hey, Al, how you doing? Let's see here. Brother Samuel, he said, as long as I'm the boss, ain't nobody going to fire me. Oh, okay, got it. That's the one. Yep, Walter says that all the time. Hello, Shirley, how you doing? And Patty, what's going on? Moni, what's going on with you? Said, okay, so you're talking about freezing. Till Dog, what's going on with you? And I'm reading y'all comments. I just want to just acknowledge everybody before I give it to Donovan. And Mr. X, how you doing? All right, so Donovan, what you got?
Welcome to the party, pal. You were duped by the Democratic Party. What the hell has been going on for over 60 years? It's the same playbook. The playbook was written 60 years ago. All of these things have come out and said and told them how to deal with black voters. Never promise them anything. I hear you. I feel you. All of these things, symbolism, give them symbolism, give them this, but never talk about reparations. Never do anything. Oh, we'll do a study. Welcome to the party, pal. You are as grown as you are and as educated as you are, Mr. Charlamagne. You are just figuring this out, and you have the nerve to call yourself the God? You should know these things, brother. You should know these things. Now, I'm just a basic serf in the dust trying to make a living, and I knew that a long time ago. And let me let you guys know this. I'm a recovering Democrat for the simple fact is I was born, bred, and thought nothing other than to be a Democrat. And then 30 years ago, I woke up when I saw that doing this was not getting me ahead. It was actually getting me behind and all this other stuff. When I realized I have to start voting my pocketbook, my family interest, then Donovan started to move up in the economic chain. And the more black people realize that, we will do better as a people. And I'm not talking about as a group. Forget all this group stuff. Yes, fundamentally as a community, we need to come together as a community. We need to come together because we're not a community right now. We need to come together. But individually, your concern is not the same as my concern. Your economic situation is not the same as mine. Every other group votes their pocketbook. They vote their individual interest. That's why when you look at Hispanics, 60% of Hispanics are conservative. They're conservative by nature. Most of them are Catholic. I'm a Catholic. They're conservative by nature. These people are having babies left and right because, number one, their religion dictates it, and they're conservative by nature. Only about 40%, give or take, of Hispanics vote Democrat. Most of them are conservative. Asians, a lot of them are business owners and into the business. So if you're a business owner, are you going to support a party that is for taxing everybody and giving everything away, raising taxes? Are you for a party that is for lowering taxes and business friendly? Of course you're not. We're the only group that gives 90-something% of our vote to one party and get nothing for it. So like I said the other day, Demetra, the Democratic Party is absolutely right to go to the Asians and say, y'all need to vote for us because we gave you this. They need to go to the LGBTQ and say, y'all need to vote for us because we gave you this. The Dreamers, y'all need to vote for us because you know all this stuff. That's who they need to go to. Why is it that they're always coming to us? Why is it on Black people's thing to save democracy? Donald Trump we didn't create Donald Trump. They did. We as a people have nothing to fear but fear itself. So when you are talking to these people that are basically disarmed mentally in their logic, like I told you guys yesterday, it's very simple. You tell them, if we didn't get nothing in the first term and a president is held to 2 terms, what makes you think you're going to get something in the second term? And he had a trifecta in the first term. He doesn't have a trifecta coming in the second term. If you think that we're under attack by the Democratic Party now in the first term, what do you think is going to continue to happen if this guy gets another term? And we're not telling you to vote Democrat. We're telling you to vote your interests. I mean, it's kind of crazy that these entertainers and these people, they know what the hell is going on. They know who signs their checks. So I'm glad that he's kind of like, I really feel Charlamagne is kind of doing this because he's probably losing audience members and audience numbers. As who was the guy that we used to listen to growing up? He used to have the boat cruises. Radio personality, the shock jock.
The boat cruises?
Yeah, he used to have the boat cruises and stuff like that. And it was
Tom Joyner?
Tom Joyner. When Tom Joyner started losing his audience, he was gone. He was out of there. He couldn't sustain it because he was out of touch. Charlamagne sees the writing on the wall, and how can you be a man, regardless of whatever your stance is? Okay, I respect the man that takes a stance, even if it's the wrong stance, as long as he takes a stance. But when you're flip-flopping and doing this, okay, you've misled these people all this way, and all you can say is, oops. No, you're not worried about what the people are doing because we know who signs your checks. You're worried about your audience and where you're going to be and how you're going to line your pockets. Cut and dry.
Yes, indeed. Hello, everybody. Strong, humble, and here to learn. How you doing? Since I understand where the business person is coming from, but nobody care about the employee, the worker. Yeah, that's true. You're replaceable. You know, you're no better than the paperclip in a lot of cases that they order. You know, a box in a warehouse is just the truth. JJ Mars, how you doing? Says smart and intelligent Black American voters will vote for an independent party just as it protests against the Dems. Yeah, and, you know. And Charlamagne saying that he is nonpartisan as well. And I think we all should be nonpartisan. They should never assume our vote, right? They know that you're a Democrat, then yeah, they just figure you're going to vote for them anyway. But if you're nonpartisan, then it's like, okay, you got to work for it. Hey, Thunder, how you doing? Truth Seeker, how you doing? Say exactly. Mike Nice, what's going on with you? And John Knight, how you doing? He says, why do we need the model other communities? He says, when we did better with Black Wall Street, we need to look within ourselves. I totally agree with you. Yeah, I was on that one yesterday.
Yeah, but you also got to remember the contents of Black Wall Street. These were people that was once generation removed from slavery. So all they had was each other. We don't have a community anymore. I mean, we're trying to get it back. We're working hard to get it back. But once we become a community again, we can do exactly what you're saying. But right now, the reality of the situation is The Democrats have put in women against men, black men against black women, and have caused and created chaos when they see us trying to get together. That's what the Democratic Party does. And it's funny, Dimitra, last night I was watching a documentary on the civil rights movement, and they were talking about how it was on LBJ actually. They were talking about though how the Dixiecrats and the Democratic Party fought tooth and nail to deprive black people of civil rights, voting rights, you name it. They had to be a compromise to where when these things actually passed, if you go back and you look at the counted votes, most of the Democratic Party was against it. Most of the Democratic Party was against it. It took the Republicans to pass this legislation. And yet somehow we give all of our votes in a 60-year period to the Democratic Party, the party that fought against us getting any rights.
DJPD, how you doing? He says, I've already pre-warned people on not to ask me about giving up my vote to get Biden reelected. Not happening. So yeah, with that, I think a lot of people are a lot more people are starting to come to that conclusion. That was on the vote blue, no matter who, right? I'm, riding with Biden, and they strolling to the polls and chucks and pearls and all that other stuff for Kamala. A lot of people are just saying, okay, yeah, we were duped. And there's a lot of people that were trying to ring the alarm. And as Donovan's named, the recovering Democrat, he was once a Democrat. I was once one too. I ain't gonna lie to kick it. I was. But after a while, when you get some information, you're supposed to say, okay, especially if it's new information that makes sense. You're supposed to say, okay, well, all right, that makes sense. Why am I voting for more of nothing? Why do I keep showing up for people who ain't going to show up for me? We wouldn't even do that most of the time in our own life. Somebody says they're going to, I'm going to be there. And they don't show up. You're going to eventually say, okay, you know what? I'm going to rock with somebody else. You ain't going to just keep waiting. So why do we do it, with politicians? But of course, we know that Black people have been loyal to a fault to the Democrats. And now, especially, I think in this election, the Democrats, their chickens, if you will, are coming home to roost. I mean, even to the tune of now, as we talk about all the time, bringing the migrants in here, giving them money, housing, resources, and sending money everywhere and ignoring Black people, And my thing with Charlamagne, and I believe Charlamagne to be smart, okay? You're not going to be a dummy getting where he is. But he says that he has to answer to people as to, you told us to vote for them, but Kamala has done nothing. That's what he said. He's kept honing in on Kamala because I guess he thought they were friends. Kamala hasn't done anything. But my thing is, why are you surprised? Because Kamala out of her own mouth said, I'm not going to do nothing just for Black people. No, she said that. She wasn't hiding it. She was asked a question and she said, no, she didn't stutter. She didn't say, well, let me think about it. Well, she didn't pick it apart. She flat out said, no, I'm not doing anything specifically for Black people. So Charlamagne, and I'm glad that he's got this awakening. Now I am, but now, it's like, you mad because she duped you? You felt burned. Those are your words. You felt like she burned you? Well, Kamala has always been Kamala. She's never really shied away from who she is, and so now you feel burned. Of course, she's going to be extra nice and chummy with you. Y'all got a very large audience. You guys, on the Breakfast Club, you have that audience of people who don't necessarily turn out to vote as much as other groups of people. We talked about the baby boomers yesterday. They turn out to vote. The sector of people who don't turn out as much, they listen to the Breakfast Club. So yeah, you have a lot of politicians going on there spewing this and that, come vote for us, and then they don't show back up. But again, none of that is new. They use Black people. They've been using Black celebrities, athletes, or whatever since the beginning of them being, influential with Black people. And so I don't know necessarily what Charlamagne has gotten as far as a little white envelope or anything. I'm imagining, I'm going to say allegedly, that he's probably got something. I don't know if he just necessarily did it because Kamala was his friend, but he got something for it. And I would say that Charlamagne helped him get into the White House. He did. Now, this is the thing. He's not going to endorse him this time. That's going to be major. That is major. Whether people like it or not, Whether people think that Charlamagne is not influential, he is. And he's now out in the open. I'm not endorsing him. How many people are going to follow his lead? We know that the Biden administration, as I just said, lost a lot of votes with black people. If the election was held today, they said that Trump would win. Trump, his percentage as far as black voters is ticking up every day. 2016, it was 8%. 2020, I think it was like 12-ish, somewhere around there. Now they say anywhere from 20 to 26% of the black vote is going to Trump. So, yeah, Charlamagne's backing away from them. That's major. That's major.
It's major. And here's my thing, though. Kamala, who got her political start with Montel Williams, and then he passed her on to low down Willie Brown. Now, in my opinion, this is me. This is not Demetra. This is me. A 304 is a 304. Now, those of us brothers that are traveled and that know what 304s are, and you've been to strip clubs and stuff like that, they're natural liars. I mean, they're going to tell you what you want to hear to get what they want from you. How can this man, seeing how this woman's political rise happened, actually not think that she's just telling him bald-faced lies, other than her telling she wasn't going to do that? When it comes to black people and what they're not going to do, they're quick to tell you that in your face. But, you know, that's what they do. So I wouldn't be shocked. As a matter of fact, Demetra, remember when Kamala announced her presidential bid, we were one of the first people that covered it. And we told people, this is what this woman's about. This is what she's going to do and whatever. And we have not been wrong in regards to our assessment of Kamala Harris yet. But fellas, in the chat, how many of you guys have dealt with 304s or, you know, women that are out there that use men to get what they want? How many of you guys universally believe everything that a woman of that ilk says?
Yeah, you know, as I say, me personally, I don't like to call Kamala those things because, like I said, I mean, she ain't the only one that did something strange to get to where she is. I'm not one of them, okay? I ain't one of them. But, you know, I think she's smart to some degree to be able to get to the White House, you know, so.
She leveraged her agenda. She did. You can't take that from her.
Yeah. Overseas African, how you doing? Since the Democratic Party of that time was a completely different party. I vote Democrat not out of loyalty, but fierce self-interest. I'd rather have nothing, quote unquote, than an open white nationalist party. Well, I mean, I want my races out in the open. I don't want, you know, nobody doing nothing esoterically with me. That's what the Democrats do. They are in the closet racists, and they lie and talk about, oh no, we're the party of black people. Well, when you are for something, you advocate for that person. You do things for that person. You don't do things against that person. So yeah, we know that the Republicans aren't necessarily the friend of black people, but the Republicans don't come to our churches. They don't have fish fries and twerking to the polls and, you know, all that other stuff for black people. That's the Democrats that do that. So me personally, I want to know if my neighbors, you know, like to burn a cross or two, you know, in their spare time. I don't want to think, oh, my neighbors over here, they're cool. They like black people and this, that, and the other, and they out there doing some racist stuff. I want to know so that I know who I'm dealing with. So, I mean, I'm not knocking your opinion, but, you know, I just think that's rather interesting. Yeah, average logical thinker, you say, so she used Charlamagne's platform and now he's just being petty. I don't think he's being petty. I really think, because see, I like to think about things. I'm like you, logical thinker. I don't think it's that he's being petty. I think that Charlamagne doesn't have a choice. I think his hand has been forced because everybody sees it. Like, what are you going to defend at this point? Oh no, they're really just wait on it. They've only been in office because that's kind of what he was saying at first. They've only been in office a little while. Give them a chance. But you can't keep saying that. What does he have to defend? The Biden administration and you know, they haven't done anything for black people for him to actually say, nah, y'all tripping. They've done A, B, C, and D. So he's called to the carpet, and now his integrity is even more so on the line. So he can't keep lying about, you know, nothing. That's what I think. Patty says, I recall how disappointed I was when everyone was excited about Kamala being the first woman VP. Absolutely. Let me see. Let me skip that.
What about Tanji Brown being the first Black woman Supreme Court justice? What about the first this, the first that? I mean, why do we get so excited about the first? To me, it isn't about being the first. It's about what you're going to do when you get there for your people. And most of them being the first don't do anything.
Well, yeah, because they know we get high on the first Black this, the first Black that, the first, everybody's up in arms about the first Black, president of Harvard being fired. It's like, but she's the first Black president of Harvard. But what does that actually do for Black people? They still ain't letting Black people up in there in droves, So that's a win for her. That's not necessarily a win for Black people. It was anyway, because she resigned rather. Hi, Q, how you doing? He says Republicans and Democrats don't help you all. It's you and your family that help you. That's right. Do for self. The average logical thing says, I prefer openly overt agenda than covert any day. Yep, should have read your comment. Wilbur, how are you doing this fine evening? And Rodney says, I'm a baby boomer and I don't vote at all because I woke up. And, and that's what Charlamagne said too. He said, this election is between the coward, the coward, the crook, and the couch. So obviously the coward is Biden, the crook is Trump, and the couch is people who said, I'm not going to vote.
And I'm going to tell you guys this. We do not advocate for you to vote Democrat. We don't advocate for you to vote Republican. We advocate for you to vote your interests. As a Black person, and it's just my opinion, I'm just going to give this to you. When you walk into a store and there's nothing in the store that you want to buy, do you leave your money there and walk out? No. You go home and you sit it out until the store has something that you do want to buy. And that's how you should look at this election coming up. If neither of these candidates are anything that you want to be, it is best to sit it out because both parties uplift white supremacy. So if none of these candidates are your cup of tea, it is best to stay home.
And JJ says the Dems will probably flood Black churches with money, so preachers will tell their members to vote Democrat. Well, yeah, they always do that. But if I was in those churches, I'd be like, you know what, enough of telling us what to do. We barely want to listen to y'all anymore. Y'all come up and tell us to come up here, give money we ain't got, and so we supposed to continue to vote for more of nothing. Nah, I'm good. And churchgoers should really think about that and tell the pastor we don't come to church for you to have politicians in the pulpit. But if you want to have them in the pulpit, then we want to be able to ask them questions. Well, while you're here, what have you done for Black people specifically? And what are you going to do for Black people specifically? Or do you just make it a habit of coming to people's churches, talking about vote for me, I'm the better candidate, and not being able to answer why you're the better candidate? But see, a lot of people in church, and no shade to people in church, they're scared to ask questions. That's how it's been designed. You don't ask the pastor no questions because the ground might open up and swallow you whole. And you damn sure ain't going to ask the politicians no questions because he feel like he's been invited in, who or she, by the pastor, so it must be all right. So you ain't gonna ask no questions. You're gonna just amen, hallelujah, yes, won't he do it, and all that other stuff. But you just let it happen. So of course they will.
Well, Demetra, I think the new thing is right now you've got Barbara Lee, 73 years old. She's running for the Senate, and you had Sheila Jackson Lee running back for re-election. She's doing a swerve on that young Black girl that she jumped out of being mayor. But instead of going churches now, 78 how old is Jackson Lee? She's what?
Like 73, 74. Maybe
okay,
not even out, maybe not that old, but somewhere around there.
Yeah. So she was spotted now in a nightclub on a Sunday night, raising the roof. That is the new thing. So they're getting out of the churches and they're going where the young folks are, and that's the clubs. 70-something years old, turning up. Ain't that something?
Well, yeah, she's got to try to reach the voters, especially Sheila Jackson Lee here in Houston. Of course, she was running for mayor, and she lost to that of John Whitmer, and she lost badly, so she needed to go into the cracks and the crevices of everywhere, trying to conjure up votes. Come on, vote for me. It's like, okay, first of all, you coming up to the club. I'm not listening to you. I want to drive down and get my eagle on. Not me. I'm just saying, if in the club, last thing I want to do is listen to some elderly woman with a shawl and 2 Cinnabons on top of her head talking about, make sure you come out and vote now, and all of that, talking about, can y'all put some Bobby Womack on while I'm here?
Yeah, classic song. I wish I didn't trust her so much.
Right, Okay, Okay, DJ, not that one, not that one. Right. Shiloh, how you doing? He says, I'd rather have nothing equals I'd rather you have nothing. That's the slogan of self-hate. And we all know it. Yeah, I agree with that. I really do. And let's see here. Rodney says the blue blood Democrats are bigots, Queen Demetria. Oh, it's Dixiecrats. Absolutely. And Black Butterfly, how you doing? He says Roly Poly is defending. He defended who he defending? We're gonna talk about Roland Martin on Sunday. I do a little bit more research, but we're gonna talk about him on Sunday because Roland Martin needs to just be flipped over and just done. You know, he's not credible either. At least Charlamagne had the sense God gave her cricket and said, okay, the gig is up. I can't keep defending these two. You know what I mean? But not Roland. He gonna, he gonna expire on that hill until he can't defend it anymore. Now his audience are calling him out.
Y'all stupid, y'all dumb, y'all don't know nothing. Just give me the money. Crazy.
DJ PD says that give them a chance. Crap means nothing. Yeah. Oh, they've only been in there for 300 years. Just let them get in there and do some more.
The Demetra, remember on my page and some of my boule friends that went to the HBCUs and all that other stuff. And let me be clear, my son went to an HBCU, my niece went to an HBCU. So it isn't like I don't know what's going on down there. How many times when we would bring up a topic in regards to what was going on, they said, give him some time. He's only been in there a month. He's only been in there 2 months. He's only, every time we brought it up, well, when's he going to get to the Black agenda? Do you guys realize, if you go back and look, everything that the Biden administration wanted to do for groups, he did it in the first 45 days. Go look it up. Nothing for Black people. So, now we're in the third year. I asked all these boule people, well, everybody else has been taken care of. Now it's our turn. Where's it at? What's happening? Do you know what my boule friends have now said? Oh, I ain't into politics no more, man. No, I'm done. Hey, I'm not into politics. Oh, okay, got it.
Hello, Jeremy. How are you doing today? And Bowana Foundation. I hope I said that right. How you doing? It says Charlamagne caught a case. Charlamagne kind of explained that, and he said Wendy Williams' husband at the time was behind fueling those rumors. Said they were rumors, but I'm gonna tell you this. I know some things, but I really know how this works, especially with politics or with the powers that be. If Charlamagne truly did that, the Democrats will expose that to get rid of his credibility. If he did that, it's gonna come out, because that's one thing about the powers that be. When you are no use to them anymore, they make sure they throw all your dirty draws in the streets. And if you don't believe me, look at the case in point of Jesse Jackson. Before he got elderly and stuff, Jesse Jackson was out there giving him hell. And then we learned about his love child. And I guarantee you, they told him, hey, there's more where that came from. You keep getting out there and getting spicy and see what happens. So if Charlamagne did that, now that he is not in the good graces of the Democrats, and the Biden, because we've seen low-key what they've done to Mayor Eric Adams when he was saying Biden didn't want to meet with me, and he's left us on the hook. All of a sudden, they ran up into his office, and an investigation and all this other stuff. So you mark my words, okay? Mark my words. All right, let's see. Truth Seeker. He says, do you think the Dems will do more disrespectful campaigning like booty to the polls this time, right? Is water wet?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I think this year they might give out vouchers to get some booty.
Hey, Bobby says, so Kamala's in Vegas to do what? What's she up in there doing? What's she doing? She at the high roller table? I mean, she got to get out there and start early. And Shirley says, church folks are just believers, nothing based on facts or truth. Yeah, they won't, not all of them, but a lot of them, they will not question the pastor. Pensy Lola, how you doing today? And Sagittarius Goddess, what's going on with you? Nita, how are you? Says, I'm insulted in this age by the first Black anything trope. Don't remind me how little we've gained. Yeah, because that's what works. Anytime somebody is the first Black person to do something, we ram it into the ground, right? Oh, they the first Black, this, that, the other. And it's like, great. But what are they going to do for everybody else? Does that them being the first black just help them? Or does it help everybody else? And that's not to say we can't be glad that they're the first black to do something, but don't sell it to us like because they're the first black something that is actually going to, benefit us. It's just not, Uh, let's see here. And Satra, how you doing? He says, greeting, Demetra and mods and chat. How are you doing this fine evening? Jay says, Louisiana showed the Democratic clown that there will be no further bamboozling. Yeah, Louisiana, of all places, right? And High Cube says the Democratic Party is a big cult business, such group such as the Black Church, which uses its power to make money by deceiving immigrants and Black people with populism and lies. Yep. The average logical thinker says, let's not forget that Roland doesn't. You know what? You wowed it. I'm gonna let one thing. I'm gonna let y'all have all that. I like to get people honest. I don't really like to do a whole lot of name calling on the air. I like to get people honest way. That way they ain't gonna say I'm hitting below the belt and none of that kind of stuff. I'm gonna let y'all have that. Mr. XS Cardi B said she ain't endorsing any candidate too. And you know what Cardi B said? She said if something happened to me or my family, y'all know why. So that's why I'm saying if Charlamagne was out there doing things to women he wasn't supposed to be doing, it's a matter of time before that other shoe drop. And you know where it's probably gonna come from. So I'm just saying that remains to be seen. Till Dog, you say don't forget Jim. Y'all ain't getting reparations, Clyburn, and he's in Charlamagne's home state. He needs to campaign against him too. They said he actually too has been speaking to Nikki Haley a little bit more. I don't know if he still is, especially since Nikki Haley said that the reason for the Civil War was just how government is supposed to be ran. It's like, come on, damn well it was about slavery. Stop it. And Thunder says, question, did you hear about all the bomb threats that the Capitol received? It's not even close to the election and it's happening. Stock up the Essentials family. No, I haven't heard about that. Is that something that was happening as of today? I've kind of been out of the loop between today and
yesterday. No, it's been an ongoing thing every now and then that's been happening up there. So I have a good friend that works for the Secret Service up there. So
well, I'll make sure not to be going toward the White House. And I always say if they gonna do something, make sure you aim it to Washington. Right. Ain't nothing here.
Right. But like I always tell people, especially within our community, ladies, because a lot of you guys are head of household, you got to be able to protect your household. I'm telling you guys, do not wait for a man or somebody else in your community that's going to come and protect you. Get you guys something just in case. It's better to be prepared and not have to use it than to need to use it and you can't.
Yeah, Rodney, there's a lot of people that's like what really happened, right? And let's see here. JJ said Jesse had been bought off by white corporate America a long time ago. Was he bought off? Or, did they say, hey, you getting off the chain, boy? You talking a little too reckless. And they dropped that love child. Everybody was shocked. Like, oh my God, he's cheating on his wife. He's got a love child. And the child was older, so it wasn't like it was a baby. So that was a secret. But whoever dropped that information, they knew. And from that point, Jesse wasn't talking reckless like he was. I mean, look at someone like Al Sharpton. Al Sharpton, he ain't that fireball he used to be. All that. Now he's very subdued. He's bought in.
Got his own little radio show, TV show on Sundays and stuff. And then speaking of Jesse Jackson, how many of you guys remember how the Democratic Party came down on his son? Representative Jackson, he did some jail time, and his wife did jail time. Yeah. So.
Yeah, and Black Butterfly. When I hear that, I hear Denise Williams, Black Butterfly, one of my favorite songs. You say, I was in Chicago at the time of Jesse. Then folks wrote a 1 to 2 page article about the side chick and his side baby. Yep, I remember when that happened. Everybody was shocked. They couldn't believe it. But yeah, he ain't been the same since. He's like, yeah, okay, let me go and be quiet. And William, how you doing? Says, I think Kamala should fire up OnlyFans page. Her political career is over. Y'all need to stop. Y'all know she gonna write one hell of a book when she get up out of there. And Satra, hi, thank you, by the way, for the donation. He says, suggestion, please advocate for us to protest. Vote 40 plus million Black American freedmen can protest vote and vote independent presidential candidate. Our protest will send a message to both parties. I agree with you. Uh, Dr. Claude Anderson says that we are the only group of people that vote as a block for our oppression. No other race does that. We all, not all, but a lot of Black voters get together. I'm voting blue no matter who, but we all should be independent. Nobody should just assume that they have our vote. They should have to work for it, but they won't do that as long as they know I'm voting blue no matter who. Matter of fact, I'm gonna vote all down ballot. Everybody Democrat, I'm just gonna vote. Everybody Democrat. I don't care who it is. This, if they're a Democrat, they getting voted for. That should not be the strategy.
And this is what they do. I'm gonna stick my arm out. I'm not gonna ask no questions. That's how insane we are as a people. We are so deeply entrenched in the Democratic sphere. How can you get up there and say you're not going to ask any questions? I mean, there was a Holocaust that happened during World War II. There's been a Holocaust of the Black African since inception. And this lady gets up on national TV during the pandemic and says she's not going to ask no questions of what's in the bio, what's in anything. Just think if they were actually going to do it, make a Holocaust, how many people this lady would have led to slaughter? Crazy.
Yes, and Sharon 65, how you doing? Says nobody cares what Charlamagne thinks or votes for. I'd like to believe that's true, but I believe a lot of people I think cares what he thinks, because Charlamagne is not a dummy. Yeah, because I'm one of those people. I never like to begrudge people over their talents. I don't think Charlamagne is dumb. I think he really doesn't like Trump, but I think he's now like, well, Trump can't keep being a reason as to why Black people need to vote for the Democrats, because the Democrats have not given a reason for Black people to do that. And so, as much as the White House or anybody would try to play it down, now Charlamagne is not that influential, then why does everybody go on the show? Many politicians have gone on the show. I think Kamala's gone twice. Biden has gone. I mean, most presidential candidates have gone to the Breakfast Club. Even they even sat down with Obama. And I don't believe he was a president at the time. I think it was after he was the president. But they sit down with a lot of influential people. So
Hillary was on the show.
The Breakfast Club has a lot of pull. So I think they do care.
And you got to think about this. In the swing states, how many votes determined the swing states? You're talking about maybe in a couple states it was like 10,000 votes. 10,000. If he's only influential in a few votes, he's influential, because that could turn the election, basically. Biden won by the skin of his teeth, and that was with almost 6% of the Black vote. He barely won it. So yeah, so if they can get this guy to, give a couple of votes in there, all the better.
Hey Herbert, how you doing? Thank you so much. So I'm saying that y'all said that there's been a couple of envelopes and threats and emails or whatever going to different states. See, I've been kind of unplugged for the last couple of days, because when I get to doing other stuff, I just not too in tune. But I guess I will read upon that tonight. But yeah, it's getting kind of scary out there. It really is. JJ says a lot of sick white supremacists are armed to the tooth with military weapons. You better believe it. And Stacy, how you doing? Say I wasn't surprised. And Jay Bubba, if I didn't already, how you doing? He says Kamala is about to wag that finger at Charlamagne again, and Simone Sanders is coming to tackle him. They said too, with both of the interviews that Charlamagne did with Biden and Kamala, Simone was there, especially with the one where Biden says, you're not Black if you don't vote for me. It said she was off to the side, guess really trying to wrap it up, because even before Biden became the president, they called him like the king of gaffes. Like he would just say stuff and then have to walk a lot of stuff back. And so I'd imagine they had a handler for that. And then also when Kamala was on his show, The God's Honest Truth, when she admonished him for talking like a Republican, they were trying to wrap her up, but she kept on talking. So yeah. Simone Sanders, she tried, but it was, to no avail. Okay, so let's see here. How many skip down? Let's see. Miss Sweet Talks, how are you doing today? Dwayne, how are you doing? Says, got too much dip on your chip. Laugh out loud. Okay. Arneba, what's going on with you? And Michael says, Dimitri and Donovan, Asian restaurants get away with paying taxes to the government, or you mean not paying. Please do not repeat their mistakes. I know because I'm part of their community. Okay. And Brother Don, how are you? I see you got all those letters behind your name. He says, I was at various state capitals. I mean, sorry, it was at various state capitals. Wow, I am really out of touch. My dad's really going to have something to say. He's like, you need to watch the news every day. And I'm like, I'll be trying, but I'll be forgetting sometimes too. And William says, who do I get to write a proposal to get the Castle Doctrine as a ballot measure? Well, a lot of states already have the Castle Doctrine, right? I know they have, a lot of states do or some form of it, but you're talking about like a federal thing. Because if it's on the federal level, the states still have to buy into that, if they want to do something like that. Gregory X, how you doing? It says, stay ready and you won't have to get ready. Yes, indeed. Who said that? He said power tools. Was that sugar free? And Precious, she says, we are going to get paid. Divine, take charge. Watch the phenomenal moves. Okay. Yes, Miss Sweet Talks, you are on the mod squad. There's a few other ones that I need to give a wrench to. I just have to go back into some of the videos and find you, because if I put your name in or on the thing, the portal, you don't come up unless I don't know, copy and paste it or go to a comment and it'll let me do it there. But yes, indeed. Rodney says Jesse dated Roberta back in the 70s. Roberta Flack. Is that who we talking about? He was killing her softly. Let's see here. Skip on down. I'm reading it. Y'all wilding. Nita says, we compare the shop for everything except politics. You better preach. Pop says, I didn't take that ish. My wife did, though. Okay. Storm Vet, how are you today? In your average logical thinker says Charlamagne has been extremely influential. Oh, yes. Yes, indeed. And they know it. They'll try to downplay it, but he has. Shaniqua, what's going on with you? J Bubba says, I've seen the Democrat shields now turning on him. I bet they are. On ex Kamala about to wag her finger at them and buck them shoulders. Okay. Sagittarius Goddess says he's one different person. And let's see here. Renz, how you doing? It says blessings D&D. I swear, once some black people see that D at the beginning or end of that person's name, that's good enough for them to vote Democrat. Yeah, I'm gonna vote blue no matter who. And I mean, it's like you want to put some thought behind it, right? And Shirley, you say even though other people in this country are poor, Black Americans are at the bottom of the economic ladder. We're at the bottom of, I would say, everything. Let's see. Amanda. Ooh, the documents are released, huh? Are we talking about the Epstein documents? Do tell.
Do tell. Yeah, I haven't been able to get on there. When I get off of this, I'm definitely going to go look and see who's on there.
Because they said this week that they were going to be released. So who's on there?
Yeah, we already know Bill Clinton is on there. So we know that. I mean, some of that we know Donald Trump is on there and he was friends with him. So isn't it funny how the very people that are running for office and are in power, no matter what side it is, and like I said, I'm just speculating. I'm not saying that they are, because I don't know if they were involved in sex trafficking with Jeffrey Epstein. But to be around that type of environment, these are the people that people are fighting for to run the government and be in power. Isn't this insane?
So from what I read, Donald Trump, I guess they obviously knew Jeffrey, but they said that they don't, I don't know, don't quote me. They don't have any records of him being on Lolita Island. So I don't know, That's interesting. And Satra, you say, who lives in Georgia? Demand Warnock and Ossoff to present and vote for Black agendas. If they fail us, vote them out of office. Yeah, but again, we talked about this yesterday. Black people lined up twice to get Warnock in office, and he has not showed 1 ounce of he's going to do anything for Black people. In fact, where is he at? I mean, I haven't heard anything about Warnock since. It's like he just disappeared. But you'll see more about him when it's time for him to be reelected again. He'll be out there sounding like Obama and all that other stuff. It's crazy. And Pensy Lola says, remember when she was attorney, she dogged our people in California jailing for Biden? Yeah. And a lot of people, she lied and said, oh, I didn't know that the truancy law that she created when she was the DA. She says, I didn't I didn't. Nobody went to jail under that law, and we actually interviewed a woman who did go to jail, Cherie Peoples. She went to jail. She says, yeah, she's lying. I went to jail under that truancy law, and it was unfairly she did. But yeah, so Kamala lied. Storm Vet says Biden punted the police oversight to Congress as soon as the inaugural staff scaffolding came down, and he knew his student loan forgiveness promise would fold. Yeah, I mean, he's beholden to the banks. All that interest that they would lose. At the end of the day, Biden is a corporatist among a lot of things, and he ain't gonna, make his donors mad. That ain't gonna happen. Miss Sweet Talk says, "Are we, as a collective, voting for Trump or just not voting for Biden?" I think some people are voting for Trump. Some people are just not voting for Biden. Some people, aren't voting at all. So I think that it's becoming more and more clear that people just do not want to vote for Biden. Let's see here. Skipping on down. Black Butterfly says, Professor Black Truth has a great commercial about power tools. Does he? And, I get them confused. Black Truth and Jason Black, are they the same people? I don't know. And let's see, let me skip down. Jay says, there's nothing new in the court documents. Okay, so it's nothing new. So we got all hyped up over nothing. Pop says all three Clintons went to the island. All three Clintons. So the daughter, Hillary, and Bill. That's only three Clintons I know of. Unless George Clinton. I don't know. Herbert says GOP Congressman Clay Higgins of Louisiana said on the floor of the House of Reps, if I see a black man with a gun, that's reason enough for me to him. He was once a resource officer in Los Angeles. I don't know who that is calling me. Yeah, average logical thinker says, I think we as blacks are capable of getting out of the underclass, but it takes a majority to do it. Yeah, we can do it. We just got to, as you said, get on the same page. Stop, with the divisiveness in every way, shape, and form in our community. William, you say, Donovan, did you answer that one? Okay, got you. And Mr. X, you say, I heard it was pushed to January 22nd on Epstein list, unless they decided to do it early, right? And Gregory, you
and you know why? You guys understand why they keep pushing it back, because maybe some of the people on that list, they don't want to get exposed, and so they're doing a lot of redactions and taking out and going to the courts and saying for this and that and that and this. This is how they run that game. So, are we ever going to see who really is on that list? I really doubt it, but I guarantee you the low-level people, the entertainment people and stuff like that, you're going to see all of that, but you're not going to see the main players.
Brother Sammy says they always want us to wait. Now that we've been through their miseducational system, have trained us to say it for them. MLK Jr. saying we can't take the tranquilizing drug of gradualism. Come on with it.
Yeah, and I want you guys to remember during the Epstein thing, isn't it amazing that when this guy supposedly self-deleted himself, the security guard or the guard that was supposed to be there went to sleep. I mean, the videotape that was watching him didn't work, or I mean, I don't know. I know using my logic, but something's not adding up in the buttermilk. I'm sorry.
Satcher, thank you so much once again for a donation. Love and appreciate you for that. You say Mr. Demetri P. Diddy talked about the Dems in 2019. Then in 2020, he changed his tune and said, vote for the Dems. Charlamagne will change his tune by July.
And that's when he got the Revolt TV show.
And also, Diddy was, I think he also started Vote or Die, that campaign. I think that was his, if I'm not mistaken, or he was very instrumental in that. So yeah. But he did change his mind though. He was cute. He tried to question, but then, like you said, he got totally on board. Of course, Jay-Z and Beyonce did as well. So yeah, we see that all the time. See, Ruffin, how are you doing? Happy New Year to you as well. Okay, so Poppy saying, yep, all three were on the list. All three of the Clintons. What were they doing over there? And Herbert, you say you have the right to remain silent. If you give up that right, any and everything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. The most unambiguous statement ever. Yeah, the Miranda rights, if you will. there's a whole story behind that.
Yeah. And then how many of you guys are aware that the Supreme Court ruled that the police officers can outright lie to get a confession or to enact an arrest? How many of you guys know that?
I didn't know that. I mean, it seems like it'd be a little bit unconstitutional, but you also have the right to remain silent. So I would just suggest you don't say nothing. Poppy says I got the list off Reddit, so it's on Reddit. The list. Wow. And Warren Turner, how you doing? He says, who's listening to Charlamagne? Oh, don't underestimate Charlamagne's reach. Clearly, a lot of people are listening to Charlamagne. They have an audience of almost 6 million people just on the Breakfast Club alone, not including all the other stuff. So he's very influential. The White House knows it. Everybody knows it, and they're going to try to play that down. If nobody was listening to him, then they wouldn't have gone to his show a copious amount of times. All types of Democrats trying to tout that of the Biden administration. The Secretary of Education, Charlamagne took him to task, asked him at the time, did you hear about what was going on in Howard with, the mold and the rats and the water stuff? He said he didn't know. So Charlamagne was like, how are you the Secretary of Education and you don't know that? Because they're not really paying attention to HBCUs like that. But that was the Secretary of Education. So people are listening to him. Miss Lachey Bay, how you doing? Says Epstein is, you think he's still alive and well? So y'all saying you think he's still alive? Well, and Black Butterfly says Jason Black and Professor Black Truth are two different people. Got it. I don't really listen to them much. I've heard about them, so it's kind of hard for me to keep up. I've listened to a couple of things. I'm weird when it comes to listening to certain people. It has a lot of theatrics and stuff, and I'm not saying anything bad about them. It's just kind of hard for me to listen to it. But I know that they are very influential in Black media. But like I said, it's hard for me to tell them apart because they kind of sound the same to me. Renz G says voting Democrat has led to our demise, destruction, and downfall. All of these years later, absolutely. Poppy says, you're giving away wrenches. I am outstanding troll. Okay, I got you. Let me put you down.
Well, let me ask you guys this, and let's be honest, for a lot of you guys, has being a Democrat better your life? I mean, has it taken it longer to get to where you want to go? Because I can almost guarantee you, most of us, we live in a Democratic bubble or whatever. But here in California, most of the worst neighborhoods and communities is democratically controlled. So for some of you guys that live in other states and stuff, we all live in different states. Living a democratic voting life, has that bettered your community? Has it bettered your life? Has it bettered anything? Because it's funny to me, all this stuff for the migrants, that's all Democratic policy. That's all Democratic policy. $9,000 for a rental assistance. You can't even get that as an American citizen. Has it bettered your life?
New York State of Mind 22. How you doing? It says charlatan the guy now following the Democratic script and condemning Kamala instead of Jim Crow Joe Biden. No, he criticized Joe Biden as well. He says the only reason why he voted or endorsed the Biden ticket is because of Kamala. But he says that he believes that Joe Biden is a lousy messenger, and he seems like he has some mental issues going on. So he has criticized him as well. But I get what you're saying, because the Democrats at one point in time were really kind of doing a job on Kamala. They said the first time in history they were talking about replacing her as the VP and putting somebody else on the ticket there with Joe Biden. But then they kind of backtracked from that, because that wouldn't have looked good for them at all.
Well, Dimitri, I got a question for you. Where is the sisterhood to defend Kamala? Where's the sisterhood? Oh, y'all can't criticize a Black woman. She's the first to do this and first to that. My question is, when I look at the sisterhood, and I'm a man, but when I look at it, it's like they're half in and then they're half out. It's okay for this, but it's not okay for that. Why aren't they defending Kamala as they see what is going on, as people are attacking her, telling her she's no good as a VP and all this other stuff? What's your opinion on that?
Well, I just think a lot of people, they're going to have a hard time defending anything about the Democrats. But we also got to remember, it wasn't just the sisterhood, it was the brotherhood too. That Ricky Smiley was that's us. I serve the Black sororities and fraternities. We got to get behind our sister, D.L. Hewley. All of them, they got behind Kamala And again, the black man was right behind the black woman voting for the Democrats. So I know we have this sisterhood thing, but it was the black man too. But with the sisterhood, it's what can they defend? What has Kamala done that they can really defend with all of their might? She's done nothing. In fact, Kamala has gotten out there and stepped in a couple of times. I mean, they pretty much call her the VP of giggling. Giggle, wiggle, jiggle, hee. Even that stuff that's not even funny is like, what you laughing for? Because you just can't answer the question. William, thank you so much for the donation. Love and appreciate you. He says dollarization, shifting power between us and BRICS. You know what? I haven't heard a lot about BRICS in the last couple of months. What's going on with that? Maybe I'm just not, it's not in the realms that I'm looking, but for a while we were hearing a lot about it. It was not just those nations, but it was like 30, 40, 50 other nations that were joining, aligning with that of BRICS. Of course, the United States is not one of them. And they said, well, we won't have it. We won't allow them to do it. It's like, okay.
Yeah. And wasn't Kamala supposed to be the czar of the border? Wasn't she supposed to be the czar of the border?
I don't know if she's supposed to be the czar.
Yeah, well, when she came in the office, her job was the border. That's what Joe Biden assigned to her. And, and to me, that set her up for failure. I knew that was a setup for failure. And, since she's been in office for 3 years, what has she done as VP other than be a cheerleader?
I think they tried to give Kamala more responsibilities than a vice president typically has. And I think they do have a lot of conversations about Joe Biden, potentially something happening to him. Of course, that Kamala would be next in line if something happens. So they want to try to make it seem like she, is capable of doing the job. They also talk about Biden and Harris, the Biden-Harris administration. But I can't remember too many of the times that they did that with any other administration. But I think they wanted to get her out there, and she flubbed a lot. And when she went to the southern border, and I think it was Lester Holt that asked her, she hadn't quite gone yet. And he says, well, why haven't you gone to the southern border? And of course, with the migration and everything, she says, well, I haven't been to some other border either. That doesn't mean I'm going. It's like, why you got to be sassy, sister? Just answer the question. I ain't going because I don't know what the hell I'm going to be doing over there. But she did eventually go and said, don't come over here. Don't come, but they're like, lady, we ain't listening to you. Move out the way. So they learned earlier on putting Kamala out there was not a good idea. And for a while, you didn't hear anything from Kamala. It's like she just disappeared. I guess they had her back there kneading the biscuit dough. They said until we could find something for you to do.
No, she's cooking those greens.
Yeah, and they tied her Kamala's greens in the White House. They like cook or something else. Satcher, you say our immediate threat is immigration. They take our jobs, get our governmental funding, keep minimum wage low. They send funds to their home to build better, to better their family rather, while we the taxpayers perish. Yeah, but again, what party is allowing that to happen? It's the Democrats, and we vote for them. So a lot of that is on us. I mean, I even see like on TikTok and things like that, a lot of white people, and I've done stories on the African Diaspora News Channel, said, we told y'all. But we black people, we told y'all. Stop voting for the Democrats. And now y'all sitting up here crying and complaining about the migrants taking over your neighborhoods. But we tried to tell y'all. Well, y'all was voting. What were you voting for? And they're like, now y'all starting to see that they don't mean you any good because y'all been blinded by hating the Republicans. So much to where y'all voted for your own demise. So,
And then there's two ways to look at the migrant crisis. These people are going to come here and they're going to work. And when they work, they're going to pay taxes and, of course, all this other stuff. Now, for those of us that are not baby boomers, because the baby boomers made sure that they got their Social Security in their old age, and they dip into ours. Now, when these people come in here to work, they're going to help restore or at least fill up the Social Security stuff so that we can get something in our old age, because we're not that far off. At least I'm not. Dimitri's what, 23, 24? Yeah, I'm only 10, 12 years away from collecting my Social Security. And so these people are going to fill that up. So there's two ways to look at it. I mean, it's a curse, but at the same time, it's a relief because they had no answer to deal with Social Security because too many people took out of it that didn't put in it.
Thunder, you crazy. He says it seems like 2024 will be a great big ball of crap. Yeah, that's what a lot of people are saying.
Crap burger.
Yeah, a lot of people are like, I saw the interview with Cat Williams and Shannon Sharp. Amazing. I watched the whole thing. And he says the choices of votes, presidential candidates that we have now is between voting for your last ex or the ex before that, going back with your last ex or the ex before that. He says that's kind of what we're dealing with here. So I was like, that's actually a pretty good analogy. Mr. X, she says, to be honest, after Obama, I haven't voted Democrat, even down ballot. I have voted Green, Libertarian, Independent, Republican, anything but Democrat. Yeah, same here. Hello, Easy E. How are you doing today? I hope you are having a fine day. Troy says Democrats have not improved my life at all. Democrats introduced stop and frisk in Philadelphia. Yeah, and New York. So, which is close, right? But absolutely. And Dwayne, he says the sisterhood is very selective. Yeah, trust me, I know all about it. All right. And our neighbor said Jason Black and the Black Authority are brothers, and one of them is anti-Farrakhan. I need to know which one that is so I don't make sure not to listen to him. Because y'all know how I feel about Farrakhan. I'll make sure I don't listen to him at all. Yeah, so that's good to know. Please let me know which one that is. Let's see here. And your average logical thinker says there's no sisterhood. Black America says if he gets rid of her, his numbers will go up. So you're talking about Biden get rid of Kamala. They might. I can kind of see that. I just think in general, nobody's in love with the idea of another Biden presidency. He's not done anything for not just Black people, but really American people. A lot of people are feeling the pinch everywhere they go, whether it's at the store, whether it's the gas pump, or whatever. Like I said, student loans, people are expected to pay those, but then people in other countries are getting free education on the backs of American taxpayers. So it's like,
in Israel, they have universal health care and free education in Israel. Do you guys realize we send them I think it's $3 billion since their inception every year. So we are actually letting these people benefit for something that we can't seem to pass here in our own country.
Hello, Common Man. How are you doing this evening? I hope you're having a great day. Precious, you say reparations before elections, straight up. Yes, indeed. And Yanni, how you doing? It says Kiki Palmer did that interview with and mocked her giggle. I say talking about Kamala, the VP of giggling, wiggling, and jiggling. And I think it's really just a nervous thing for her. Shirley said, let's stop fooling ourselves. We are all aware that Biden has dementia. I mean, he got something going on, And I guess it's kind of typical with people who are older, So there's no shame in that, but the shame is they keep trying to force him on us, And GA, how are you doing? Well, thank you. Dwayne says, yes, she was assigned for the border. Yeah, and they snatched her right on off. Okay. It's like, nah, you out there acting, saying stuff we ain't really want you to say like that. Herbert says, in y'all spare time, do a comparison between Isaiah chapter 37 and 2 Kings chapter 19. Okay.
Well, I'm not a religious person, but I do know from the religion that I have studied that for the Bible to be true at this point in time, all of this must come to pass. Revelations.
Yeah, so Common Man said that was her first major order as vice president, take care of the southern border. How many times have y'all seen her back out there since? You haven't. Really, after that, she kind of just disappeared, and then it starts, started to send her to Africa, and that's kind of where she got in some trouble too, because they asked her a question about somebody over there in one of the countries in Africa was the first Black woman to do something, and she kind of just laughed about it, and people were like, well, what was so funny about that? It's probably because she really didn't know how to answer the question. So yeah. Y'all really don't like Kamala. And more Blackness for you. How you doing? You say, I think that they set Kamala up. He never got over her agreeing with an SA victim. Kamala agreed with someone who accused him at a national debate. He used her to appeal to Black and Asians. Yeah, y'all remember they actually had a heated discussion where she says, I was that girl when, she was one of the people, children who were bused due to some of the policies that Biden championed when he was a senator, a young senator, and they went in at each other, and now I just love you, Joe. Oh, Joe, we did it. It's like, okay, all right. So Dwayne, you say Jason Black made the cut the check a thing. Okay, so he's the one that came up with the cut the check. Well, he made it popular in regards to reparations because we've been saying cut the check for a minute. Okay, somebody owes you some money, cut the check.
Yeah. Hey, I want to give a special announcement to Cherie Peoples. She has a great podcast that you guys need to check out on YouTube. And Cherie is a good friend of ours from the show when we were on the War Zone.
Okay, so Professor Black True started Black First Family. Okay, got you. So I'm learning a little bit here. All right, and Miss Lachey say President Obama should stick to movies. Maybe that's what all these Black Democrat politicians need to do because they put on a hell of a show to get that vote. Well, Obama and Michelle, they got that Higher Ground production company, and they didn't leave the world behind, which was a great movie, by the way. And I was wondering, like, why would they make that? Why would they make that movie? But maybe because they know most people will look at it from an entertainment point of view only, and opposed to what we really should be looking at it at. Sophia, how you doing? It says the Ukrainian refugees are getting Social Security, didn't pay a dime into it. Yep, that is the absolute truth. Let's see here. Free W, how you doing? It says I need to go back and watch the whole thing. Okay. Well, I don't know if you went back already, but how you doing? And welcome. And Satra, is it Satra or Satra? I want to make sure I say it right. It says, Mr. Mitra, do you have a think tank that we can join? Do you have an organization that we can join and help? I've been asked that before.
It's called Dimitra is Always Right.
Say it again for the ones in the back. No, I'm just kidding. I kind of consider this a think tank. Now, of course, we can't go too deep into this because it's not our platform, but we do have an AfricanDiasporaNews.org platform where we could be free to be us. On these other people platforms, we kind of got to, muzzle ourselves. But a think tank, yeah, I've been asked about that before. I'd entertain it. I just got to figure out how to do it, But I definitely entertain it. Anita, he says they'll just be paying back the welfare they are getting now. Okay, and thank you, Miss Sweet Talk, to say great discussion. And Sophia, you say reparations, no vote, will vote for Trump. Yeah, a lot of people are just saying that. All right, and harmony and peace, tranquility. How you doing? If I didn't already say, there's no defense for Kamala. Debbie, that's her middle name, Harris. She cannot relate to enslaved African ancestors or African Americans. John Henry Clark, I only debate my equals, all others I teach. I actually love that quote. Brother Reggie, how are you? Are you still in Japan? If you are, how is it going there? We miss you on here. Yeah, you must be very busy. And Brother Donnie says, them folks said that y'all got all kind of names for Kamala. Greens don't have any flavor. He crazy. Well, as I said, her husband can't take that kind of seasoning. I don't think she really doing it like that.
He's the only guy that I know that eats. His name is Doug. He's the first dude, Doug. He's the only guy I've heard of that eats his greens with mayonnaise.
Ew. Mr. X, he says Officer Tatum is anti-Farrakhan. Who is that? Who is Officer Tatum? I don't know who that is. Herbert says at one point the Atlantic slave trade was so prolific that slave ships couldn't come fast enough, so the slavers, white guys with guns, built open air prisons near the shore with chicken wire. Thank you for that information. We need all the knowledge we could get. Common Man says, I'm getting my Social Security starting in February 2024. I'm not waiting. I ain't stupid. I don't even need it, but I'm taking it because I work for it. You damn straight. Yeah, that's why I'm like anybody who can get it. I would get it early. If I could get it, I wouldn't wait till I'm 1,000 years old to get it. Shoot, if you need it now, get it now, But a lot of people just like, well, I'm going to wait. It's like, for what? You get it early, it's going to average out in the end because you're getting it, I don't know, 8 years earlier than you would. So it averages out.
And we're not promised tomorrow, so why not go ahead and get it?
Yeah. Shoot, I wish I could get it. Let's see here. So Donovan, you're answering all the questions that people are addressing to you. I want to skip down so I could catch up. Hey, oh, there's and it's not even actually Cherie, it's Sheree, right? Or
Oh,
am I saying it
Sheree,
right?
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry.
But we could be wrong. Well, how you doing, sweetheart? Yes, this is Miss Peoples, and she is actually the one that Kamala lied on. She is actually the one that was jailed falsely due to her daughter being truant, and she actually wasn't. There was a lot of documentation saying that her daughter had, reasons not to be in school, and they didn't do that. They came to her door early in the morning and perp walked her, if you will, in handcuffs. Now, mind you, Kamala lied and says, "Oh well, nobody ever went to jail under that. Nobody was actually harmed." And Miss Peoples was like, "Hello, she's a liar." So
And the
absolutely,
funny thing is, when Kamala was the attorney general, because when you're an attorney general at the state, you don't really show up to like courts. You have other attorneys that do that stuff. But in Miss People's case, Kamala made it a point to be in the court when this lady was being arraigned and charged.
Thunder, you should have never told me nothing like that. So I just found out that you're able to can buffalo and hot wings. This is great news. It shows
Oh, glory wings now. Glory greens, glory wings.
right. You already got your canned glory greens. Okay, you good. Don't open them up in case it's an emergency. Dwayne says if Biden gets rid of Kamala, they gonna lose the LGBT movement. She doesn't even use her husband's name, and she never talks about her father or any men in her family. I think she's got a long. Well, Cherie, you say she never stand for truth. No, she never does. And okay, Satra got you. Says Israel, the UK, and Canada have universal health care because they are white countries. The US can't deport native. It says Am and Am, was that American something freedmen? So they refuse to give universal health care to Black American freedmen. They should, because like I said, a lot of the countries do it. But you make a good point, and for the reason. Uh, Al, he says, my mom didn't buy my stepdad a PS5 for his birthday, so he went to play with his Xbox. You crazy. Yeah, average logical thinker says, Dimitri, use GPT chat for the steps to create a think chat. My daughter loves GPT chat. She does. Chat GSCI. That goes to show you I don't use it. Chat GPT. I actually need to get the app on my phone. I try to use my own little brain power to do stuff because I know when you rely on that kind of stuff, it kind of makes you a little bit on the lazy side. Because I typically do a lot of writing and proofreading and stuff for people. After I watch Leave the World Behind, I only wear my watch on the show so I can kind of tell time, but I stopped wearing my digital watch and I would rely on it for everything. But I stopped wearing it because I was like, no, I want to get actually a little bit more on the analog side of things. So I'm going to get me a regular watch. But yeah, but I would rather probably write it, but I have my daughter help me and she'll probably use Chat GPT. Okay, so let's see. I'm gonna skip down a little bit. William says we need a Black think tank for our strategic planning sessions. That also means we are in total control of the venue, building, etc. Right? Yeah, we can't do that all up on here. They say the revolution should not be televised and it should not be on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, or any of that kind of stuff. It's supposed to be done underground, right? So
AfricanDiasporaNews.org. Go there and sign up or download the app. And we can have all the conversations we want and strategy and all that other stuff and ideas right there on that app. Simple and taken care of.
Satra, so you say so you go live and dialogue with your subscribers on the African Diaspora News website. I'm not sure about that just yet because we're still, working some things out. But right now we're asking people to go over there. We do have videos up over there. Some of the videos that we actually can't put on the YouTube channel, for obvious reasons. But I'm sure that there will be a capability for that. Brother Phil, he goes live on the one on YouTube, so I'm sure that if that is a thing, that a live session will definitely be the case. But I'll run it by him because that's a damn good idea. But I'm sure it's probably already in the works. Let's see here. Brother Reggie says, yep, still here, 18 plus years, doing good, just been mad busy. Yeah, so you like Japan, huh? I didn't hate Japan. I liked that. I wouldn't mind going back. And you know why I really liked it? Because it was a different country and it was only a 9-hour flight. That's what I really loved. It's like just straight there. That was cool. I had to actually fly to LA or California, and then I meet up with Donovan, and then we flew from LAX to Japan. But it wasn't bad. I enjoyed Japan, I really did. Uh, Black America. Also, you're talking to somebody else. And Dwayne said, "Did you guys hear about Jason Whitlock? No, what happened with Jason Whitlock? What did he do this time?" Okay, so William says Brandon Tatum is an officer. Tatum often called Officer Tater Tots. Uh, or oh yeah, I ain't never heard of him before. Okay, got you. Okay, let's see here. Marcella, how you doing? What you cooking tonight? You always cooking something. And yeah, Cherie, or is it Sheree? Sheree, I think it is. Says she said it on the Breakfast Club. Yeah, she's. Nobody actually went to jail. It's like stop lying, you know. Uh, and Common Man says Sasha Obama says she pregnant. If so, now we know why the Obama's cook accidentally drowned. Oh my Lord! See, y'all be all off into the conspiracy theories. Listen, if that was the case, we ain't never gonna know. That you can believe. I'm just saying. Uh, Black America says one person only went to jail. Not too bad. No, I think it was more than that. That actually went to jail. Come on, Black America. You've been in California. You know Kamala was out there tripping. Kevin Cooper. I know doggone well you know who Kevin Cooper is. Kevin Cooper. They said he may be innocent per all of the DNA and all of the stuff that's going on with Kevin Cooper. I'm gonna tell y'all, back in the 80s, Kevin Cooper had everybody shook. I remember being a child and hearing about Kevin Cooper. He escaped from the Chino prison for men. This is what they were saying. He found a house where some white people lived in Chino Hills. Y'all know Chino Hills is very affluent, and he took them out. Whatever is what they're saying. So, because he escaped from prison for some burglary stuff or something he was already doing, but they tried to say he did that. Now he's been on the chopping block, if you will, a bunch of times, but he got a lot of stay of executions, if you will. Now, Kamala, being the Attorney General for California at the time, she was like, I can't be bothered with that. But she did a 360 when Dianne Feinstein, Governor Jerry Brown, and a couple of other people was like, no, we need to hear this out because we don't want to send an innocent man to the death chambers. And so they did a DNA test because back then that it wasn't available. So I haven't heard anything, or actually, I know why they haven't killed Kevin Cooper, because Gavin Newsom put a moratorium in California on the death penalty, saying ain't nobody going to die as long as I'm governor. He says, because I know that there's a lot of innocent people on death row, and a lot of them are Black. So Kamala has done a lot of people in jail or whatever dirty when she had the opportunity to say, okay, well, let's at least look at it, see what's going on. But she was going to allow Kevin Cooper to fry for something that it looks like he didn't even do.
You got to remember, she also defied the California Supreme Court when they told her to release those prisoners that are nonviolent offenders, and she refused to do it because it would affect those people that were firefighting and stuff like that. She just refused to do it, to keep those people in involuntary servitude.
So you said, Demetri, I get it, but see, ChatGPT helps to polish things. Very useful. I'm using to write my business plan. Yeah, you can do stuff like that to help you streamline things. Yeah, I actually like it. I just don't want to get to the point to where I rely on that only. You know what I mean? That's like, I like audio books if I'm doing stuff like around the house or whatever, but I actually like hard, books in my hand. I shouldn't have stalled too long on that one, but I like books, okay? I like books. Easy, you say, D, did you hear about them folks outing pressure on Ghana to accept the lifestyle in their country, or sanctions will be used against them? Yeah, I heard about that, but it sounds like Ghana was like, kick rocks. We ain't doing it.
And speaking of which, South Africa just charged Israel in the World Court with genocide. So Africa is starting to say, you know what? There's more of us than there are you.
Yeah, South Africa's calling them to the carpet. Out of all the countries, South Africa is the one that's saying, enough. So that's going to be very interesting. Odd Negroes officials, how you doing? Says, I want to move to Japan. The lifestyle is better. Japan is a lovely place. I will admit that it is. It's not like you think. We hear about it. It's a very a lot of culture, and just those people, they mind
Kung Fu theater everywhere. Everybody's samurais running around. It ain't like that.
Well, we've seen a couple of people that were samurais, if you will, but it's not like that's
dress, right?
Yeah. And your average logical thinker says, I love Japan too. Customer service in Asia is top tier. You ain't lying. And they don't want you to tip. You cannot tip them there. They don't do tips. So Miss Sweet Talk says, I would love to visit Japan. It's my dream vacation since the age of 18. Oracle Deborah, how are you doing this fine evening? Yeah, Japan is really nice.
Well, you know what? Maybe brother Phil is kind of keen to Africa. Maybe Dimitri, we need to start doing a jot back to Asia. We just put a group together and just go back.
Yeah, I loved it. Like I said, I learned that I thought I was greedy before I went, but when I went, I was like, oh my God, you are greedy. Because over there they give you small portions. I'm talking about if you greedy, you're gonna be mad. Because the hamburgers, and I had a veggie burger, it was like that big. I was like, is there more to this? And like 8 fries. It's like,
Dimitri and her daughter stayed in the 7-Elevens the whole time we were there. They kept going back to the 7-Elevens, back to the 7-Eleven.
Oh man, they got 7-Eleven off the hook there. It is. Norris, how you doing? It says it's already started. Coming up in the next 2 weeks, Jim Crow will speak at Mother Emmanuel Baptist Church. I'm so pissed. So many of us are stuck on stupid no hate crime bill. Well, will you be up in there? Are you is that near you? Because if it is, you should say, I have a question for you. When you gonna actually do something for black people? And he gonna act like he ain't gonna see you, but Mansa Musa, how you doing? He says, what's hating? What's happening? Oh, I think he meant what's happening. What's happening? Is that what you're saying? Y'all know I ain't all up on everything like that, but I think that's what you're saying. But how you doing?
Yeah, I want to go back to Norris's comment. Demetra, Norris, I'm gonna tell you this: as long as the people in that church don't get up when Joe gets there and go get photos and stuff. When Willie Brown was in Sacramento, you saw these old chicks jumping up, slips falling, bloomers flying, just to get a picture with Willie Brown. Dimitri was right there. They were dragging Dimitri to go take the picture.
They was like, come take this picture. And I was like, do I have to? I was like, come on, Willie Brown. But those ladies were older, so I could see why they would, have a thing for Willie Brown. But at the time, we didn't really know that, he was sponsoring Kamala all like that. So I guess Willie Brown was a ladies' man at one particular time, but it was mayhem out there. I was like, wow. And William says Jason Whitlock unintentionally trolls himself on social media, so he gets porn advertisements whenever he logs onto his. Wow. Yeah, Jason. Yeah, he just sold out a long time ago in the worst way. Sherry on, how you doing? And Miss Lachey Bay says, I saw that rise up in Africa. And Black America says, I don't know anything about him. I've been to prison. Most of the people there belong there. I mean, I don't know. I don't know about most. I don't know. I haven't been, so I take your word for it. I said a lot of them probably do belong there, but do they belong there for, the 3 strikes law? Stealing some bubble gum or pizza, and then they end up getting struck out for the 3rd time for 25 to life? That ain't what that law was made for. It was not. Polly Klaas's father and our grandfather, they're the ones that championed that law. Polly Klaas, of course, was murdered by a man who was a repeat offender, and had he had been struck out, then he would have never got a chance to get Polly Klaas. He opened her bedroom window. She's having a sleepover and kidnapped her out of there. And they said now when they brought him in, they believed that she was alive, but had they were able to run his, I guess something else was going on with the system, run him, his name and stuff, and kind of see that he had some other issues, it could have kept him and she would have lived. But that's partially, for the most part in California, why that law came into fruition. It was for violent sex offenders and repeat sex offenders. And her father and grandfather said it was never meant for people who were, stealing stuff and to get a felony on their 3rd strike. He said they said that's the abuse of the law, and we don't support that version of the law. So, yeah. Juggernaut, how you doing? Says Charlamagne the fraud is falling back from Mr. You Ain't Black. What? Yeah, he has no choice at this point, Let's see here. Who else came on here? I just want to skip down a little bit so we could catch up. I know that I'm behind. Okay, so Norris, you're in Atlanta. So I'm sorry, where was that church again? Is it there in Atlanta as well? Thunder says, did someone say slips in? slips and crotchless bloomers. You crazy. You really like that, huh?
He's on it. He's on, bruh. Willie was getting all of that. I mean, they young guys that were there, they weren't paying them guys no mind. Willie was getting all of that action.
He was too. Jump shot 1973. I love you too. How you doing, by the way? I hope you're having a great day. And Herbert says, can we find a black Dylan Root? Oh, see, you wildin'. We don't want that, okay? We want change, but we don't want it like that. My goodness. Negroes says, seriously, ain't nothing like American racism. Geez. Reality with a GP. How you doing? It says a little late. Because I just came back from the gym. One of your average logical thinkers videos came up on my suggestion before I left. She's just as fine as Demetra. Would she date me? Well, she's in the chat. Ask her. Y'all want me to do some sort of a love connection? It doesn't have to be with y'all. I've always wanted to do a love connection. In fact, my daughter said you should do something like that. And I could be like Chuck Woolery, have y'all get together and, ask each other questions and stuff like that. And, I'm here for it.
Do we need another delusional dating show? I mean, really?
Hey, you're right. It is delusional because I've been trying to get you auctioned off for what, 4 years now? For at least 4 years, I've been trying to.
I happen to be picky. Okay, I'm just not gonna. I know my worth. How does that sound, ladies? I know my worth.
The problem with you and my auction is you keep saying silly stuff. Like I said, we had the auction up pretty high up there for you. It was like $50, and then you said something about you allow her to go to Popeyes and supersize, and then it just plummeted to 36 cents.
Wait a minute. Are you mean to tell me these women, they're not good enough to go to Cheesecake Factory and they're not good enough to go to get a Popeyes chicken sandwich?
I would like, just order me a cup of cold water. If we got to go to Popeyes, just give me a cup of water. I ain't gonna hold it against you, or a bottle of water. Just don't make it Dasani. Make it something, spring water. I'll do that. But Popeyes chicken sandwich, no, I'm good. Thank you. But yeah, I cannot auction Donovan off. I don't know. I'm trying my hardest. He just keeps saying crazy stuff. I'm at to work with him a little bit more. A little bit more. Then he'll be ready for y'all. So let's see here. Oh, Sherion, you want him? How much you got? Whatever you got, I'm write it down. How much you want him for? Yep. There you go. Don't say nothing. Don't you say a word. Don't talk. Okay? Quiet. And Oracle Deborah says Biden Harris had no intention of ever showing up. At least Charlamagne the God is calling it out. Roland will still fight hard for him. Oh, yeah, we're going to talk about Roland on Sunday. I just didn't want to do it both today, but yeah, we going to talk about it because Roland is just like, come on, man, cut it out. Yeah, Tito, $50. And y'all don't think $50 is good for Donovan? I mean, gosh, we don't want to be ridiculous. There's an inflation going on out there. And prices are already high.
See, I know my worth, and she's going to market me down to 50.
I think that's pretty good. And I'm thinking about issuing a coupon out. 20% off. Rodney says, do you date Demetra? I have not dated. I've not been on a date in, it's been years. So I guess I don't. Donovan, don't be looking at me.
I'm just going to say in Demetra's defense, what a waste. What a waste. What a waste. Years are just going by. What a waste.
What can I do? What can I do? I'm going to still be foxy fly, work out, I eat right, I take care of myself. I'm going to still be all right.
Fellas are missing out. I'm telling you. I mean, she's right there in the heart of Houston. All those brothers down there. And I don't know. What a waste. I mean, she's a total package. I mean, I'm not saying that because, she's a friend of mine. I'm just saying the total package. Natural booty, natural BBL,
Natural BBL.
It's all there. Pretty, intelligent, I don't know. Are the guys intimidated down in Houston by a woman that's that's intelligent and got it all together or not? But if you guys, to be honest, if you guys really want to see a beautiful woman, and Demetra is beautiful, but her mother, oh my God, beautiful woman. Oh my God. The minute I saw her, I was like, oh damn. That's how gorgeous her mother was.
Oh, I appreciate that. But look at that. 5,000. Is that rand, pesos, rocks, pebbles? What is it? Cornflakes. Right. Ruble. Patty, you say, I don't like Popeyes at all. I tried it. Yeah, Popeyes is a little bit, it's an acquired taste. I don't care for Popeyes too much.
Wait, are you guys confusing Popeyes or Churches? Now, Churches is acquired taste. Because once it gets cold, you might as well throw the whole chicken out.
I don't like either one of them. Just like I haven't eaten either one of them in a long time. But at least like a film, like a thick grease in your mouth. You have to drink battery acid to rinse it down.
Remember at Norta Vista, Pioneer Chicken was on the corner?
Let me tell you something about Pioneer Chicken.
Did you guys see her eyes? She just lit up.
This here should be feathers. My family ate so much Pioneer Chicken. It's like, oh my God. It was good though. And Donovan, I know your family had a whole trough of Pioneer Chicken as long as it was there. Because mine did.
Absolutely.
Hey, Walter, we found Walter. Walter, we have named this show Where is Walter Wednesday? Now, I can't put your comment up here because you said something about something happening to Biden, but we found Walter. It took us, a week? No, 2. Where is Walter Wednesday? That is the name of the show because you just disappeared. But glad to see that you're okay. Thunder says, I don't have those problems. The women I know can't refuse any early bird special. Golden Corral. They're gonna go during the lunch special. All you can eat, baby. All you can eat on me.
Hey, I'm willing to go to Sizzler. You want a steak? I'm willing to take you to Sizzler.
Wait, I got a Sizzler story for y'all. Okay, I got a Sizzler story. So Donovan and I, this sounds like a bad joke. Donovan and I walked into a Sizzler, and y'all know at the Sizzler, you go up there and you tell them what you want, and you get your tray, and you take it back to your table. So Donovan paid for everything, and she says, "Would you like to leave a tip?" And he says, "What did you do?"
Right, I remember that because they give you your tray and you basically serve yourself. I mean, all she really does is she brings the drinks and that's it.
He was dead serious. He said, "Well, what did you do?" She looked like, I was like, hell to the dog. Dwayne, I'm not pimping. I'm doing the world a favor. There's a lot of women out there that's missing out on Donovan. He's a great catch. I just got to fine tune him a little bit, because he do be saying some pretty wild stuff. And I want y'all to know that's not who Donovan is in real life. He be up here putting on, but he really is a teddy bear. He really is very sweet, very nice. He's very helpful. He's very loving. He don't put up with too much, bullcock. I'm going to tell you that right now, ladies. You got to be on your square because Donovan's cutoff game is colder than this weather out here. It's cold. It's so cold. I'm like, damn, Donovan, you had to do her like that? She couldn't get another chance? No, that's it. I don't do stuff like that. God.
Yes, I've lost some really good relationships, fellas. When I talk about girls that were fine, oh my God. Oh, I had to let it go. Ain't putting up with the
is that $150 or 150 sand pebbles? I need to get I need to get this down straight. The average logical thing says, Demetri, I don't know if I'm a brick house per se. I do all right. But y'all know how I've told y'all It's just I try to stay in the house. It's safer that way for me. You know what I mean? I think another heartbreak would kill me, and I don't want to die. I actually did a research not too long ago of what happens to a heart when it's broken, and it goes through a lot of stuff. And I'm like, damn, let me straighten up here. Let me get my stuff together because I don't need my heart to be strained and all that other stuff. So, you know, y'all know. Odd Negroes, you say Japan, you just have to learn the culture and be respectful. No ratchetness. Oh no, that's one thing you're not gonna do in Japan. You're not gonna be over there and being naked now because those women are very conservative in how they dress. They ain't doing all of that over there. I'm gonna tell you right now. Nope, they don't do that. Oh, Ronnie says you would like to take me out one day. Okay, I'm making a list. William says gonna have to trip Demetria with that cane. She runs away. I'm not a runner. I'm not a runner at all. And Miss Sweet Talker says Houston, Texas is not a good dating pool. Demetria, I understand completely. Don't lower your standards. Ooh, I did not say that. I didn't say that. Okay, Sherry, I said cash. 5 racks cash. That's pretty hard to beat. That's pretty hard to beat, ladies. Donovan, I think you out of here. I think you are out of here.
You know what the crazy thing is? I would have probably accepted way less. Way less.
Yeah, right. I would have. Y'all heard me say $50. And when it got to that below $1, I was like, oh, you're going to be right here with me in the single people club. Yeah, easy to say churches, that steroid chicken. Yeah, I haven't had churches and it's been, I don't remember it as an adult even having churches chicken. Nor she say, Demetria K, what a blessing. What a loss to mankind. Oh, you're so sweet. Don, you say Kenya shillings, you wilded. Godspeed, how are you doing today? I hope you are doing well. Hardy's chicken on Imperial. Hardy's. Is that out here? What's it? Frenchie's got some now. They got some good chicken. Frenchie's got some good chicken.
Well, as you know, Brother Al says Winco is the best.
Yeah. You know what's funny? I've never had any Winco chicken because I was a big time vegan then. So I take y'all word for it. Rock regular, how you doing? Says I love that one of y'all are so silly. Yeah, Donovan and I sometimes we be cutting up. Like if we go on trips and stuff, my daughter's always there, and she's like, "I'm gonna give both of y'all Benadryl because y'all not gonna be getting on my nerves on this whole flight." I mean, she really tries to move away from us. We was going to Japan. She asked the stewardess, "Can I move?" And she's like, "No, because of the weight and balance thing, you have to stay here." And she was like, "Y'all getting some Benadryl because y'all going to sleep." Yeah, you got to learn how to laugh. You talk about what was her response about the Sizzler? She just looked. Because I mean, he was right, but it blew me away. It's like, well, what did you do? So I'm just letting you know if y'all go to somewhere like the Sizzler or something like that, be prepared. Herbert, you say Miss Demetria is what's called a rich man's theme and a poor man's dream. Oh, I'm gonna have to look more into that. Let's see here. Just moving on down. And your average logical thinker says, yeah, Donovan cut a chick off for going to jail for a day. Cut off game is super tight. Yeah, he I'm like, man, give her a chance. My God. Not none stuff like that. But you know.
I mean, I'm particular about the hair, the nails, all of that stuff. I mean,
he wasn't particular about that naked woman walking around your house, though.
Well, you got to lower your standards sometimes just to get what you need, and then you go about your business.
I'm like, you ain't tell her I was, we was coming over here for a do a podcast.
Well, I didn't ask the woman to walk around the house naked.
Why was she naked in the first place?
Well, it was early in the morning. We did our shows early in the morning.
It's like, oh, okay.
Well, remember, I was shocked too. I was like, what? She's what?
Yeah, she was real comfortable around there, real comfortable. big old booty, sashaying around the house and stuff. I'm like, Donovan, you nasty freak, you.
You got me reminiscing. God, I wish I had her number. No, I'm joking.
Walter talk about Winco steroid chicken. Walter gonna give you the ins and outs of every ingredient on the planet. Okay, spinach. No, you can't eat no spinach. There's too much water in there. Okay, Hardee's in Los Angeles. Okay, Sister Light to the nation. She says, don't do fast food, but have been married 39 years this year. Well, congratulations to you, because I tell you what, that is a feat in and of itself. I haven't been out in them dating streets, but I heard it's like Beirut out there. I heard it's brutal in them dating streets. So I just listen to everybody else's story. If I hear of somebody that's going through something, I try to encourage them. Hey, this ain't what you want. You ain't trying to be out here. These people driving crazy in these streets, and you ain't built for this. You ain't been in these streets, and God knows how long you ain't built for this. So go back to your man, go back to your woman. They do whatever you got to do. That's my contribution.
I mean, and you're right. For those guys that think if the grass is greener, just because the grass is painted green doesn't mean it's greener. Trust me, it's rough out here. I mean, Demetra's single, I'm single. There's a whole bunch of people out here who got their stuff halfway decent or together, and it's just not happening. Everybody's got their own agenda.
Hey, Samuel, how you doing? He said, I'm about to go to Sizzler right now. That classic steak trio is fire. My daddy loves some Sizzler. Boy, I tell you, he loves some Sizzler. All you can eat salad bar. And of course, it ain't just no lettuce on there. They got shrimp, tacos, and chicken, all kind of stuff on there. So you can just get the salad bar by itself. But I remember going to Sizzler as a kid, and my dad would order our steaks, and he would tell the waiter, burn it. I want it well done. And the waiter's like, okay, so you sitting there pouring all the A1 sauce you could think of on it, because it's like leather trying to eat it. But he was like, no, I don't want to see nothing moving on this steak. Make it very well done. It's like, God, Daddy, our little teeth can't do all of that, but we may do. Yeah, Tito, naked woman and cats. That's Donovan. Okay.
Well, wait. Key word there. And cats. They all need to be around each other.
DJ says, when I lived in Tacoma, Washington, I used to go to Winco Foods and get chicken from there. Donovan, Winco chicken is good. Yeah, I've heard a lot about it.
Yep. Tacoma, Washington. That means you were near McCord Air Force Base. I did a lot of time up there.
Yeah, so there you have it. Brother Samuel says, I just watched an old Western with my mom and saw how whites referred to the Indians as savages, and when they unjustly killed one of the person in charge, wife said, I know you're not going to punish the wrongdoer for a savage. I thought that is the same way whites feel and act toward about blacks, especially those from the Biden era. Oh, of course. That's the way they think. We heard time and time again throughout history, their wrongdoers go unpunished, even after saying, yeah, I did it, and so what? Al says, America had to take a COVID shot, but the migrants are left in and don't have to take in, or let in, don't have to take anything. Yeah, and that's what the Trump Title 42 was about. It was about y'all can't come over here, because the COVID was really, raging, and they didn't want people to come in from other countries and make it worse here. But then when Biden got into office, they lifted Title 42, and that's why you see an influx of people coming in. But they are saying that the COVID is actually spiking up really bad. So
yeah, as a matter of fact, there's another caravan headed here to California, at least in the Tijuana area on the border there. So,
Brother Don, you say Donovan was getting some PPP pre-podcast. I'm like, really, Donovan? Really?
I thought I put her to sleep, and she was out for the count. I thought she was out.
Nah, she was like, I know exactly what was going through her mind. Oh, I hear some other women in the house, because my daughter was there, She said, I hear some other women in the house. Dun, 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 dun. She walked through the house. She said they gonna see who's he ain't just got four-legged cats in this bed.
Well, actually, we were doing a remake of Baby Boy. It was called Baby Girl. So reverse it. She was gonna cook me some eggs and stuff. And
you know what? She gave Donovan the blues, though. I was like, man, you are stressed out. Every time while they were together, I would talk to Donovan. It'd just be like, all I heard was, ah. That's what it sounded like to me. I'm like, man.
because I was dealing with a modern woman, and she had these modern attitudes about things, and it's like, well, that isn't how the real world works. The woman wouldn't even go home. And I'm like, you got to go, get some clothes. You got to, do whatever you got to do, and she wouldn't go home.
Walter, you got COVID? Is that what it is? That's why I ain't heard from you in a couple of weeks. You got COVID. Oh my God. Well, I hope you are taking care of yourself. I've never had COVID. Knock on wood and all that. I take a lot of vitamins. I ain't been drinking as much water as I need to, but I'm going to. Common man said, I just gave up dating. I'm 62 and I don't even want the young women. Everything is all messed up. Man, that's sad. It really is. I'm 52, by the way, so I feel you. Dwayne says your dad is OG Demetri. Black people ain't never been able to eat bloody meat, not fully cooked and clean. I'm telling you, that stuff was like it was like eating beef jerky. And if they didn't do it right, he was like, send it back. He was not gonna allow us, of course, my dad being Muslim, was not gonna allow us to eat nothing that was pink at all. So Herbert says, would it be you are now? And I don't know what that refers to. Let's see here. Oh, so yeah, Walter, you got to get some good stuff in you. I know you got all the remedies and all that, but yeah, be safe. Because yeah, who did you catch it from, if you don't mind me asking? Let's see here. Don says a new superhero emerged. Bucket naked woman. Yeah, she was naked. Like Donovan, get your
total package, fellas. Total. You talk about Brick House 36, 24, 36. Yeah. Total.
Yeah, I will tell you one thing. Donovan, I ain't never seen him with somebody who was just like, you going out with her in public? I ain't never seen him with nobody like that. All of his women have been very nice and, look good and, all that other stuff. He just can't keep them around longer than 2 minutes, so I don't know. Let's see here. Walter, you say good meat is better, medium rare. Otherwise, eat chicken. Yeah, I just don't like a whole lot of nothing with runny at all. So, and I don't really like red meat as much. Let's see, Star Child. I saw you on here and I forgot to say hello to you. How are you? Says I like medium well steak. Yeah, a lot of people don't like it burnt like my dad does, and he wants it burnt. So yeah. Anyway, we are gonna get out of here. Walter, are you gonna come back, or are you still roaming the world? Or I know you ain't going nowhere now because you got COVID. And what's the quarantine like that on that now? I think they said 5 days or something like that. And are you like down or what? Are you, because Walter, he ain't gonna be down unless he got a leg or something amputated. Walter gonna keep running around.
But before we go though, Demetri, give us your conclusion to this system with Charlamagne the God. Do you think that he will get back on the Democratic train and produce some aspects to the Joe Biden campaign?
And Walter said, so you said, yeah, okay, so you're gonna come back. All right, we're gonna hold you to it. And Greg, you said you tested positive twice in 2021 and you were asymptomatic. Okay, so maybe I'm asymptomatic, but me nor my daughter's ever had it. You say you're gonna give it to everybody, Walter. Well, I'm gonna make sure I don't come out there and see you. So and Patty said she hopes you feel better, Walter. So my summation on Charlamagne the God, I think he had no choice. I think because Charlamagne is intelligent, whether we think he is or not, I know a lot of times he can, be doing the most. But I think he had no choice. And I think a lot of other people who are on the Biden train and riding with Biden, I think they're going to have to come out and tell the truth. Like, I can't back this anymore. I can't support this because what am I actually supporting? I'm not supporting anything. especially if I am black and I have a black audience, I'm beholden to black people. And so if you really care about not selling out, you're going to have to tell the truth, which is why I said we're going to talk about Roland Martin on Sunday, because Roland Martin won't give any conversation to the migrants in regards to what they're doing to black communities. He just glosses right over. He keeps wanting to scare people with Trump. But it's like, as much as you talk about Trump, you got to admit, when he was talking about closing off the borders and stuff, that was helping black people. As we see now, what the Democrats are doing, that's not helping black people. In fact, they don't even talk about black people anymore, because they're talking about helping the migrants. They're in Chicago. They said they flipping Chicago red. They said the Democrats are done, and they have flat out said, Trump and the Republicans, please come talk to us, because they got a black mayor. Not that that matters, right? New York, they got a black mayor, but the black mayors are thumbing their nose at the black voters who helped get them in office, and they're just stepping right over them and going to help the migrants. So if you're in a position like, that's why I don't wear my watch, because I wasn't even talking to it. But if you're in a position like Charlamagne, you got to start telling the truth. Otherwise, you do come off as a fraud. And I think he's hurt, as a lot of people are hurt when they really think that Kamala is my friend. And, he thought him and Kamala were friends. And he said she disappeared. She got what she wanted. She treated him like a one-night stand. She left the dollars on the table. And when he woke up, she was right, boomerang style, So I think he's hurt by that. He really thought she was his friend and she was really going to do something for black people. It was all performative. So yeah, Charlamagne is going, but I would say this, he's going to have to watch his back, because I think they're definitely, a little vexed with him for flipping over. So I that's what I think. So I'm going to finish these comments and then we're going to get out of here. Okay, so you back for real. Let's see here. Yes, good night to everybody. And Dwayne says, yeah, Donovan, he going back to the Democrats. And he might. We've seen it before. Brother Salmon says, laugh out loud. Back in the day, they called them paper bag women, Demetra. He says, the ones you couldn't show in public. Wow. The ones you couldn't show in public, that was so bad. Yeah, I ain't seen Donovan with no women like that at all. I'm like, how much he pay you? I'm just playing. Ooh, Walter, you watch your mouth. Comment says, I agree. Walter says, Roland is a itch with a B. And say he's getting paid. He could be. I haven't seen anything, but I heard. I'll put it that way. Everybody saying, Walter, please get better. Star Child says, Roland still big up in Kamala and what she's done for us. Yeah, we're going to get into it. I think we really just need to start pulling a curtain away from Roland. He is the man behind the curtain, or maybe, I don't know if he's that, but he's definitely been lying a lot for the Democrats, and he won't even give it a conversation about the black people that are in dire straits due to the migrants. He won't even talk about it. It's almost like he knows better, right? Yeah, treated him like a wet food stamp. Yep, one night stand, all of that. Let's see here. GP says, I believe Demetra was saying something about making a love connection earlier. I just got out of the shower. Can Demetra do a love connection on the next stream? I would. Y'all tell me who y'all want to hook up. I'll do it. I have like the squares, and I'll put on a blazer and stuff. That's the theme song to Love Connection. Be back in 2 and 2. I would love to do it. I would. I wouldn't steer y'all wrong. Well, y'all want to do that? Let me know. We'll make it happen. All right. So let's see here. Y'all saying that Charlamagne will be back. Walter says, with those high ass socks and tight ass shorts. Who doing that? Oh, you talking about Roland? Walter cannot stand Roland. Y'all know Roland blocked me, called me everything but a child of God on Twitter. Even mentioned me on his show. He didn't mention my name, but he kept calling me an idiot. Some idiot on Twitter. I'm like, well, it was just the truth. You just keep lying to black people and they just keep believing you. So yeah, he blocked me on Twitter. But if I really wanted to, I got people who can send me his tweets or whatever. And I'm going to talk about Roland. I'm going to talk about him. So anyway, yes, everybody saying feel better. And Gregory says, we call them Butterface, everything Butterface. Yeah, I remember that. So anyway, I love and appreciate every last one of y'all. Y'all be good. We'll be back on Sunday. And the topic is going to be Roland and his benign neglect, if you will. So in the meantime, you guys have a great evening. We will talk to y'all on Sunday. Peace. And who else? Katrina, how you doing? Says even Native Americans, when they turn 18, they get reparations. But the thing is, Trump wasn't helping blacks either. That's true. He was helping more than I would say Biden has. But
Yeah,
I get where you're going with that.
yeah, and real quick, Katrina, the reason why they get paid by the American government because they have a standing treaties. They are treated as individual nations. So to stay with those treaties, the United States government, which agreed, has to support them and give them that money. So they're a standing nation within themselves.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much, Michael. We enjoyed you being here as well. So in the meantime, y'all be safe out there. Don't get what Walter got. Peace.